prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, a law firm, is joining us from Los Angeles. Thank you very much for your time. I want to ask you first about these latest legal developments. The prosecutor requesting a trial date of October. Trump doesn't want that trial date, but a judge has agreed for the date to the date for one of the defendants. How do you see all this playing out?
Well, Folly, this is a little bit of gamesmanship from attorney Kenneth Cheeseborough. So he's asserting his right to a speedy trial, which is his absolute right. So the district attorney, Fani Willis, is calling that bluff and saying, okay, if you want a trial in 2 months, we're going to be ready to go in 2 months. Of course, we know that Donald Trump does not want to go to trial until after the November 2024 election. Delay is his friend, because if he's reelected and gains control of the White House again, it's pretty well established that a sitting president can't be prosecuted and his legal problems will go away.
Right. Setting aside the election date, how long would a trial take, and you know, what would it look like? There's also been talk about possibly moving the trial's location.
A trial like this with 19 co-defendants would last months, maybe even longer. The closest example right now is another case that Willis's office is handling, the Young Thug rapper case with 12 or more defendants. So those cases take months, because every time a witness is examined, every defendant, their lawyer, can cross-examine that witness. So imagine a dozen or more, in this case, 19 lawyers cross-examining every single witness. It's not something that most judges and juries can handle. It drags on forever.
Looking at this Georgia indictment more closely now, it's said to be the most damning one for Trump, you know, in all the cases, the other cases he's facing. Why do you think it took so long for this case to come forward, and how does it compare to the other 3 cases against him?
Well, it took long because of the nature of the charges. Obviously, you have a RICO indictment, so you're charging a criminal enterprise and a pattern of racketeering activity. But if you look at special counsel Jack Smith's indictment there in D.C., it was much more surgical, targeted. You know, he has co-conspirators, but they're unindicted, which means that they're not charged. That doesn't mean they can't be charged later on. We saw that happen in South Florida. But you could tell that Smith wants to get that case to trial as quickly as possible before the general election, and that's why he focused solely on Donald Trump. In Atlanta, you have the district attorney who's charging everyone, hoping that those co-defendants flip and they cooperate against the former president. The problem is, if they don't, now you have a lot of different cases happening at the same time, which is not easy to manage.
Yeah. Looking at what's going to happen at the Fulton County Jail in just a few hours when Trump arrives there. We're looking at live pictures right now. His supporters are out there in force, of course. You know, when seeing Rudy Giuliani's mugshot yesterday and then Mark Meadows' mugshot today, that was quite something. And now we're going to see a presidential mugshot. How do you think this is going to affect Trump, his supporter base, and his presidential campaign?
Well, I think this is one of those areas where law and politics intersect. That mugshot may, rally his base, may be great for fundraising. I don't think Republicans and conservatives are going to like it at all. But if you're truly treating Donald Trump just like any other criminal defendant, doesn't matter. Rudy Giuliani, former mayor, former
Is he being treated, do you think, like any other criminal defendant right now?
Well, I think in this case, he is so far, because they set bail for him. This is unique. They followed the bail schedule. He had to post a $200,000 bail. He hadn't had to do so in any of the other cases. So if you're reading the tea leaves here, Polly, I think they're going to get a mugshot from him, but we'll see.
Thank you so much for talking to us about this. Neama Rahmani, former federal prosecutor, joining us there from Los Angeles. We appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, leaders of the BRICS alliance of 5 nations have invited another 6 countries to join next year. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa made the announcement